Hello everyone. In today's video, we have something fun to do. We are unboxing this huge box. You can't really see how big it is. This huge box of art supplies that I received over the holidays. And I just can't wait to dive in and start using everything because there are things in here that are new to me, things in here that I've had on my wish list for a while, and some things that are in here to just replenish supplies that I use so frequently I'm almost all out of it. Now I'm gonna start with this just to get it out of the way. I purchased this item, this bag of these little bottles, because I have recently purchased a jelly plate for myself and I've really enjoyed it. However, I have found that, you know, it's time consuming to mix a color every single time I want to use it. So I want to pre-mix colors and have them in this bottle to use when I'm wanting to use it. So you guys might be seeing a lot of these in my videos to come this year. And I got it off of Amazon and I got like 40 of them in this bag for like 10 bucks. So I hope this works. Next up is some soft pastels. So last year I made a video of art supplies that I regretted buying. And in there I mentioned how I had purchased some Sennelier soft pastels and how I didn't like how they were goopy and soft. Like they were too soft and sticky and I didn't enjoy it. However, several of you did say that I should try this brand, the I'm butchering that, I'm sorry. But this brand, because even though they're soft, they're harder, so they're not as sticky and goopy, and that these are a better option to go with because I love using my Neocolor 2s, which are water soluble. However, if you use them on a top layer on top of acrylic paint, they don't really stick to it all the time. And sometimes when you want to then put another layer on top of it, they reactivate, right? So I would like to try using oil pastels as another tool in my arsenal of art mixed media supplies. So I'm looking forward to trying these out. P.S. I absolutely love this. So if you're not new to my channel, you already know this, but I love when companies ship out you know, craft paper as a part of their packaging because I reuse my packaging for shipping out things that are purchased on my own website, as well as things like craft paper. We can use it as artists. We can use it as scrap paper for doing, you know, crafting or to protect our desks, or as drawing paper. You know, you can use it for anything. And I just absolutely love that I have more on hand now. So I'm just gonna toss that all aside so you can see everything a little bit better. I'm gonna go with the Charvin box next. So Charvin is a brand of acrylic paints made in France that I absolutely love. They have the best texture and sheen to them. They are just beautiful. It's not plasticky. You know how like when you use acrylic paint, some of them, they just have this weird glossy plastic sheen when you're done. Not Charvin. Charvin is by far the most beautiful finish ever. Now, I have some of these as replenishing colors. So I use Naphthol Red Light a lot, as well as unbleached titanium. Now the unbleached titanium, I actually use it as a white alternative, even though it's on the warmer side because it's more of a creamier color versus white. I use it when I'm doing things like getting pinks and things like that, or even soft greens. I absolutely love it. Up until now, I have been using Goldens Alizarin Crimson, and I'm replenishing it with the Charvin. So this one is new to me. So I'm gonna test it out to see if it's any different from what I'm used to. I do believe that these are more Charvin, so I'm just gonna open these next. Oh yeah, ultramarine blue. By far my most used blues. French blue is my second most used blue. It's this nice, cool, crisp blue. It's really deep. I love it. The phthalo, I use it as a mix to create some amazing greens. Like, I mean, this with the Prussian blue, the French blue, the ultramarine blue, they make so many beautiful green alternatives. It's an amazing color for mixing. And it makes a beautiful center for flowers. It's got this nice creamy orangey yellow. Love it so much. And olive green. Yes, I know you can mix your own greens, but when it comes to convenience colors, there are just some colors that you should have on hand, in my opinion. And one of them is an olive green because it's beautiful, it's easy, and some days you just don't feel like doing a lot of mixing. And this is my go-to green for that. Next up on the replenishment department is my muted violet ink from Liquitex. I absolutely love this color and I'm almost all out. And then I also grabbed a bunch of Posca pens. So I am replenishing a couple of them, like the whites and blacks, because they're the most frequent colors that I use. But then I also decided to grab a few new colors because these colors themselves are actually labeled as brand new colors. And I was like, whoa, gotta try these out. So trying to open the bag and it's not exactly going very smoothly. Oops. All right, so there's this brown that's new, and there's an evergreen, an English green that kind of reminds me of like a deep evergreen. And I was like, oh, gotta try this out. And then a raspberry color, and a lavender, and an ochre. What I'm gonna do is, after unboxing all of this stuff, I'm going to switch over to a different angle and I'll draw with some of these, like I'll activate them and we can take a look and see what their actual colors are, because the lids aren't 100% color accurate. Sometimes the colors are a little darker or a little lighter. So we'll take a look at all these things in a moment. Okay, I'm also picking up a bunch of the Luminance Caran d'Ache colored pencils. I absolutely love the Luminance colored pencils. They're just, it's their coverage and how deep the colors look and how smooth they lay down. I just love these colored pencils so much. And what I've done is grab a bunch of colors to fill out my collected
color palettes. So what I like to do with my paintings and my art supplies is curate color palettes that call to me. And lately I've been really called to my spring color palette, which is full of a bunch of greens and purples and soft pinks. And so what I did was grab a few colors to fill out my colored pencil range, as well as grabbed some colors like this nice blue one here that just add as a nice accented color to another one of my curated color palettes. Oh, I'm just so excited to draw with these.
So next up, I think I'm just gonna go with this item here. So I got something called Pastel Ground. It's an acrylic primer that you can use. I've been looking for ways to, oh my gosh, add my colored pencils and other drawing materials and mediums to when I do my mixed media stuff, when I lay it on top of my acrylic paint. So that way it's more stronger and more noticeable, because not all materials lay on top of acrylic paint as well as it would, say, on paper. And this here is supposedly going to do exactly what I'm looking for. So I grabbed one of the smaller sizes, that because it came in like an 8, a 16, and a larger. So I grabbed the 8, and I'm really looking forward to testing this out and seeing if it does exactly what I'm looking for. I grabbed a set of basic larger paintbrushes, because this brand, their basic line for Liquitex are really soft paintbrushes, and I'm hoping that using it with this won't have any brush stroke textures for drawing. Like, this will just provide the grit that the materials need. So I picked up some of this set so that they can be used for that. Next up in all this stuff are my golden paints that I picked up. I've selected a range of colors with their high flow and fluid paints, so that way I could mix my own colors and use these, like I had mentioned earlier, to create my own mixes and have them pre-packaged and ready to go. So I grabbed some colors that I know that I like to use for mixing, like my Naphthol Red Light. I absolutely love the kind of pinks and peaches that I can mix with this, and Ultramarine Blue, because it's my favorite blue of all the blues that I have. And then I also have a magenta, Hansa Yellow, and I'm just replenishing actually the Titan Green Pale. I use this just straight from the bottle. It's a perfect soft green that I just love so much. And I had this little one, the 1 ounce one, and it's empty now. So I replenished it with a bigger bottle, and that way I can just continue to use it, because I was very sparingly using it because I had such a small bottle. And now that I replenished it with a bigger one, I can use it as often as I want. In the high flow paints, I got a purple, alizarin crimson, and a black. And then these two big ones right here are a white, titanium white, and a buff white. I went with these two extremely larger ones just because I'm going to use them the most. And I got the two different white versions to have, different variations of the colors. I'm really looking forward to doing this. I think I might just sit down one day, turn the recorder on, and bring you guys along the journey of mixing the colors and creating them, and we can just see if this works out, and if this, works really well with a jelly plate and dripping and doing fun little abstract things for our paintings. And then the last two things I have to show you from the box is I picked up some thin paper. that I'm hoping will work really well with doing jelly plates and my mixed media layering and scrapping and having, you know, I'm trying to think of the word that I'm looking for, and I'm just drawing blank right now this morning, guys. But basically, I was looking for thin paper that shouldn't rip and will take texture really nicely and allow paint to sit on it really well. Because I was experimenting with the paper that I had here, and then I started to Google and search and see what other people were liking. And so this was one of the recommendations. So I'm excited to see if it actually is a good paper or not. And I'll let you guys know during our experimentation video if I end up loving it or not. Whew, it just slid right off the desk. And the last thing to show you guys is just a basic canvas. I know you guys are probably like, well, I can see those anywhere, but I ordered 5 of these. The rest of them came in a separate container. And my reasoning for that is last year I had a goal. My goal for 2023 was to find the perfect varnish alternative for those of us who have migraine issues and can't use varnishes because it causes, you know, headaches and migraines or respiratory problems because of asthma. My art studio is in a basement. It's not a super well ventilated space. I have a window that I can open, but smells really do give me problems. And so I've been doing a lot of research into some of my options, and thanks to so many of you for giving your own suggestions on my past videos for what you like to use and do. So I've been stockpiling some ideas, and I decided to finally, after a year, test them out. So I've bought a bunch of these small canvases that were on sale, and I'm just gonna do some random things. So I'm not gonna put any intention into the paintings that I'm gonna be doing on here, but I'm basically just gonna, for each one, use an element of my favorite supplies. So I'm going to use my Charbon, my Posca pens, my oil pastels, and my colored pencils, and my Neo colors, and all of those things on here. And then once they're fully dried, I'm going to test out different varnish options and see which one is actually the best one. And I'm going to share the results with all of you as well. So thank you so much for watching. I am about to switch over to swatching if you guys would like to stick around to see what all the colors look like. Let's get to it. If you ever find yourself struggling to get the plastic wrap off of marker pens like a Posca pen, all you have to do is spin it and it just peels off. And away you go. Then you're able to shake it out and activate your marker.
All right, now that I've activated the Posca pens, the first one that I am going to swatch out is the brown. So I guess it's supposed to be kind of like chocolate, and it does kind of remind me of milk chocolate. It's a beautiful brown color. I love it so much. This next color is the ochre, and it has a nice earthy tone to it. I really like it, especially paired with the brown. Up next is this green. Now personally, I think it should be called evergreen green, but it is called English green, and it's this deep, rich green color. And this one here that I'm swatching is the raspberry. It's kind of a nice muted purple, and I really like it. Up next is the lavender. Now I must admit, when it comes to this color, I think it's a little too pinky, but it's still a beautiful color. Now I'm going to draw with the Caran d'Ache, and this is the middle I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. It's a light green color, and it's beautiful. Next up is a dark green, and it's another word I cannot pronounce to save my life. Fasoncani. This one here is the green ochre. I really like this green. It's earthy. It's more like an olive to me, and I love it. I just dropped my pencils. Up next is the olive brown. It's a beautiful greeny brown. I love it. And now I am doing the quinacridone purple. It's such a vibrant purple. It looks so great paired with this purplish red that I'm drawing right now. And the last one is ice blue. I actually really like how all of these colors work together so well. I have the green ochre already in the Caran d'Ache watercolor pencil, but I find I don't actually gravitate towards using this even though I like the color. So I decided to get it in the Luminance, which is a tool in which I do gravitate towards. But let's just see if the colors vary that much between the two different forms. I can see a slight color difference, but it's not a lot. I did the same thing with the olive brown. Again, it's a color I really like, but because it's a watercolor pencil, I just wasn't using it like I thought I would. So I can see, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there is a slight color difference between the two, but it's very minimal, hardly noticeable. So I'm really looking forward to actually using the Luminance version of these colors that I really like. Let's move on to swatching the golden paints. There are a couple of them that I won't be swatching just because I already have those colors swatched from previously, like the Hansa Yellow Opaque. I have this already in a heavy body paint, and then the Titan Green Pale I already have from the golden fluid. Along with the carbon black, I won't be swatching just because it's the only black color that I own, and I already have it in the heavy body. So I don't even have that color swatched just because I don't need to compare the black to another type of black. Now, the one that I am going to be swatching, even though I currently have it as a heavy body, there we go, got the words out, is the Alizarian Crimson Hue, because this here is the heavy body golden. I'm going to swatch it as a fluid, and then once I'm done the golden brand, I'm going to switch back over to swatching again the color from the Charvin brand so we can see all three colors and take a look and see what the differences are between the three. I suspect there won't be a difference between the two that are both golden. It'll just be the way the color appears on the paper, but we'll take a look. We'll see. So let's just dive right in. I'm going to start with the Titan Buff. And just shake it a little. I'm going to just pour it right on the paper. It's a nice creamy beige color. I find it to be very neutral. So it's a nice color to pair with other colors and to use as a mixing color. Set that aside to dry. And what I'm going to do in between each set, obviously, is I'm going to wipe off my brush and then clean it. So then that way, when I go to the next one, it will be clean. Because that's the key to swatching out your colors individually when you want to have swatch cards, is to make sure that your paintbrush is really clean in between swatching so you don't have any color contaminations, because that way you'll know really what that color is capable of looking like. obviously. Next, let's do the ultramarine blue. Couple more. There we go. So with this swatch card, it feels more transparent than it would if I were using my Charvin. And it could really be because of the materials that are used for it as a fluid paint. It's going to be less opaque. So a less opaque version of this color, which is fine. I like it. I still like it. It's such a beautiful blue. I tried to line up the colors in a row where it'd be less staining colors, so it would be easier to clean the paintbrush in between. So less time of me, you know, cleaning the brush. And I'm drying it off as well. That way I don't have any water thinning it out. I do have a spare brush on hand just in case I do get to a color and it feels really staining and it needs extra cleaning, so I can just leave the paintbrush in my water and we can just jump into the next color. So this one is the Naphthol Red Light. Oh yeah. What I love about this kind of color is that it really does remind me of that like fire red cherry bomb lipstick color, and how like you can find some very beautiful flowers with this bright bold color, and if you paint them, it's just they pop off the page. I think I put too much on the paper for that one. Had a lot of paint left over on the brush. Ooh, right now my water for cleaning is a really nice purple. Kind of a muted purple color. All right, now we're gonna do the Alizarian Crimson Hue. Oh, this paintbrush is kind of sticking with the red, so I'm going to switch over to this one. Just let it soak for a bit. With the fluid ones, I always feel like I need to mix them a little longer because there's like a little ball in here and it just makes me have this feeling like maybe the pigment sticks at the bottom for a bit, and you just need to put some added oomph into it. Okay, I'm only going to put a little at the top, like a little line here. Oh yeah. Just to see, you know, how the color spreads, how strong it is as a pigment. Okay, I feel like I need a little more. Okay, this color's beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay. Clean this brush, and then next is the Quinacridone Magenta. Oh boy, this is a very staining color. I know the bristles on my paintbrush are white, but they are now kind of a pinky color.
So I might need to grab another brush. Nope. No residual color, just stained the synthetic material. That's okay. Oops. Did I close that? No, I did not. All right, so this one will be a very potent color. Quinacridone colors really are strong color pigments. Probably put too much on the page. Oh, this is a really nice color. And surprisingly, I didn't put too much on the page. Okay, clean this brush off, and then we'll do the last golden color, which is the dioxazine purple, which is a very beautiful deep color itself. It's almost black if you put it really strong. So let's see how it looks when swatched, because on the bottle, as you can see, it's swatched here and it basically looks black. You can't even see purple to it. So I'm excited to see what it looks like. And as you can see, I've already opened them and used them. It's been a few days since I did the open box, and I did some color mixing and exploration, where I used the dioxazine purple and the ultramarine blue to create a custom colored kind of lavender, and whoo, it's beautiful, not to brag. I was going to make a video about it, but I was rewatching the clips that I had, and the sound wasn't that great in it. So I'll have to, I don't know, maybe share that another day, refilm it. Oh yeah. This is, in fact, I think I want to, I don't know, kind of clean this brush off, and then, because it's so dark, you can barely see the purple. I don't know if you can, if it's picking up on camera, but it's really dark. So I kind of just want to have like a damp brush just so I can see the undertone of the purple. Any undercolors, undertones, underpigments, under whatever the proper term is. Yeah, there we go. Kind of treat it like it's almost a watercolor, even though it's not. So pretty. Okay, let me go grab my Charvin, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so here's my Charvin. I'm gonna grab this one and a blank. So first I wanna note down what I'm using. So Charvin. And the pigment, it's kind of covering it, but it's PR112. I didn't write the pigment here, but I did on the fluid one, and they're using 3 pigments here, which is interesting.
So as you can see, they do have a slight color difference. So with it being a heavy body, you get more paint on your paintbrush when you're doing it and more comes out. So it is a thicker color. So you can see this color under here, underneath the thicker, darker layers. Let me get a clean paintbrush. Oh boy. So one of the things that I really like about Charvin is their sheen. And I know I mentioned this at the beginning of the video where I talk about why I like them so much, because you can see here how glossy this is. Like, I hope it's picking up on camera, but like when I move it, I can see light shining off of it. Oh boy, this looks nothing like it. Okay, this Charvin's Alizarian Crimson is very different from Golden's. Very different. So even though they're using a pigment similar, because this one has the PR112, it has 2 extra pigments in there that are creating their colors. And this one only has 1 pigment listed from what I can see on the labeling. Wow. Oops, I went a little close to the edge. Very different. Interesting. I'm going to need to do some more color exploration with this in my color journal and just see the differences, variations, and really just deep dive these 2 differences, I think. But I'll do that off camera another day. All right, we have reached the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed seeing the supplies and getting to see some of these colors swatched out. I recognize that I didn't swatch everything like these oil pastels, but hear me out. My reasoning is that I want to do a review on them so they have their own dedicated video. And I know that there are already a lot of good oil pastel artist reviews on this brand itself. However, as a person that is basically brand new to oil pastels, hasn't used it since I was a child kind of thing, you know, I want to create a review video for somebody who may be new to doing this so I can share some inside opinions and like, is this a good starter set kind of thing? So that's what I'm going to dedicate this for. As well as, I know I didn't test down or use the pastel ground in this video either, and it's because I also want to have a dedicated video for this where I can share after spending some time with it and really like testing out how materials respond to this material itself and how colors appear on it and things like that. So if you're interested in those kind of things, as well as using art as a tool towards healing, hit that subscribe button and you guys will get notified when new videos come up. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say for today, other than thank you so much for watching this and for being a part of this beautiful healing art community. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know in the comment section below, especially if you have any insight or experience with any of these materials or you have any questions about them, you know, let me know in the comment section. And until next time, everyone, stay magical.